Hey everybody, just back with another video. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how, the end of the year 2023 is approaching us, which means that we're coming up to election year, which I think a lot of people are dreading, including myself. But it's going to be a very interesting time as election year approaches us. Now, in my opinion, now I'm 35 years old. I'm sure a lot of you guys are older, younger, whatever, but in my opinion, this is the most important upcoming election of our lifetime. Um, if the right person does not get elected, I do think that things are going to get crazy. Now, in my opinion, other people agree or disagree, but I think that the only person who can really change things is RFK Jr., as I've said many, many times. I'm going to keep saying it. And I really do also think that if he were to choose the perfect vice president, in my opinion, it would be Tulsi Gabbard. If that was the next cabinet or the next president and vice president combo, I think that we would be in a lot better shape. We really need someone to fight back for the people and fight against the corruption because the corruption has been fighting back and winning, by the way, against the people for a very long time. Now, in 2020, we saw things escalate in a pretty crazy way after the election. Now, I'm not saying that exact situation is going to happen again, but whether it be Trump, I think people are going to be very upset. Some people will be happy. If it's Biden, somehow there's going to be people who are very upset. Some people who are very happy. Gavin Newsom, etc., etc., etc. In my opinion, RFK Jr. is the only one, and I think that even though people may not like him, they might be a little bit upset that he's president. I think as time goes on, you'll actually see his approval rating kind of go up and up and up instead of every other president when their approval rating is about 50% when they get elected, and then it just tails off from there. Right? I don't see that happening with RFK Jr. I actually see him gaining more support after he was elected, if he were to be elected. Now, I hope, just for everyone's sake, that no matter what happens, whether you want to question the integrity of the election or you want to question the results, let's just not go crazy. Let's just kind of be calm. I know it's a big issue. It's going to be a heated subject. It's going to be very controversial almost no matter what happens. I think it's November 5th. So November 6th on is going to be pretty crazy probably. That being said, we still have over a year before we get there. But 2024 could be a disaster. Just imagine waking up in a world where Gavin Newsom is president and it's just status quo for another 4 years. What happens? Is that completely it for the middle class? Because we're not gonna make it much longer if this keeps happening. So we right now we need someone to get in there and really fight for us, or else we're in big trouble by the time 2028 comes around. Now, what also the other interesting question is not if but when the DNC screws RFK Jr. How are people going to handle that? How upset are people going to be and how are they going to react? It's going to be very interesting. I don't see there being like riots or anything, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who just kind of go, you know what, I'm not going to even bother voting because it doesn't matter. They're going to screw out any candidates they don't like for the ones that they do like, which is what the Democratic Party does, and they've openly admitted it, and they can do it legally. So I'm not talking about anything being rigged or quote-unquote stolen. It's all legal. It's just a bullshit process rather. So, yeah, these are all things that we have to keep a lookout for. Not to mention what they're going to do with Trump. Is he going to be in jail? Is someone going to somehow beat him out of the GOP nominee? That's going to be something to pay attention to. A lot of people think they're even going to maybe assassinate Donald Trump. I don't know about that, but he's definitely pissed a lot of people off. They don't like him. They'll do everything they can to stop him, just like they're going to do everything they can to stop RFK Jr. If that's the case, and if Biden's too old and senile to run, which he clearly is, who's the only other option? Kamala Harris? Pete Buttigieg? I don't think so. They're going to likely start pushing for Gavin Newsom. And that would be a terrible, terrible mistake for people to vote for him. Not to mention, you also have the possibility of a potential World War III starting. Now, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I think that there's a lot of people, when they hear something, they just kind of they get alarmed, and then therefore everything they say it just becomes kind of alarmism. World War III is coming. World War III is coming. It's possible, but I don't think we should get too worked up about that just yet. We should be trying to get peace in Ukraine and Russia for sure. But again, if it's Gavin Newsom who wins the election, the war is probably going to continue if it doesn't stop before the election, which it probably won't. But Gavin Newsom will continue the wars. At least Donald Trump and RFK Jr. would end them by forcing them to come up with a peace deal, and if not, we're going to pull the funding. Then that means you have to make a peace deal. Anything to stop this war, because it's just, I think everyone's getting sick of it. No one wants to see innocent people dying. And that goes for any wars, and they should all be ending, and we should all be just minding our own business and not interfering with other countries' wars or whatever's happening there, especially with all the issues that we have happening here in North America. I'm really sick of Congress and Parliament here in Canada sending money overseas to help countries where it's like, hey, we have homeless children here. Not just homeless people, adults, children. It's disgusting. And if we have all this money to help the people who elected you into office. And that's why I'm going to say it again and again and again. RFK Jr. in Canada and Pierre Poilievre RFK Jr. in America and Pierre Poilievre in Canada. That's the best shot we have right now. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Like I've said before, I don't know if I fully trust Pierre Poilievre, but he's the best option we have in Canada. And RFK Jr. with the Tulsi Gabbard vice presidency, best option by far out of all the options that are available. Again, I like Marianne Williamson. She's okay, but I'd still prefer Tulsi Gabbard to be in that VP spot over Marianne. Not to mention RFK Jr. and Marianne do disagree on some things, so I don't think that would work out. But either way, we need to figure something out. We need to make sure that after 2024 kind of comes and goes, that we're all okay. Because right now it's kind of crazy to think about what's going to happen in the next year or so. But hopefully we all make it, guys. And if we do, I'll see you on the other side. That's for sure. But definitely let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think about all the things I mentioned? The possibility of World War III, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, what's going to happen with Donald Trump, etc., etc., etc. I love hearing you guys in the comment section. I try to reply as quickly as possible. Thanks so much again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.